When I was at school, I used to have to do RE homework, and in the Gospels I used to read that there were people with demons who they'd fall on the ground foaming at the mouth. And to be honest, I thought it was nonsense. I mean, you could see in the modern world people don't behave like that, and I just thought the whole thing was rubbish, thought no more about it. However, my view changed when, many years later, I was asked if I would go and meet a young man who had very severe problems. So I went round to his flat about 9 o'clock at night. It was in the winter, it was dark. He let me in, hadn't met him before, and then to my alarm he got a key out of his pocket and locked the door and put the key back in his pocket. So I was a prisoner. He sat me down on one side of a table, lit a single candle, put out all the lights, put on the gloomiest music I've ever heard, groaning, and then sat the other side from me and was, with some razor blades, he just started messing about and he was trying to draw blood on his wrists. I felt very threatened by this indeed. Anyway, I tried to talk to him, but it was jolly difficult to get through. After a bit, I remember we ended up with him lying on his back on the bathroom floor, and I heard myself saying, "I do wonder whether you have a demon." Well, he was open to this idea. Thankfully, he let me out of his flat, so we arranged some appointments, and with a couple of other friends, we prayed together, and he confessed a lot of sins, and we just prayed into it all, and he seemed to make a lot of progress. I remember black bin liners, many of them, full of stuff was thrown out of his flat. And afterwards he said it was like he'd come up out of a pit. He didn't realise he was quoting Psalm 40. So I had to think again, and I thought, well, there must be people out there with serious problems. How can I help them? The first thing I grasped was that actually the demons only manifest in Jesus' presence within the Bible. All the rest of the Bible, you don't see them. But it seems to be that the presence of Jesus makes them come out into the open. I do rather wonder whether when they see Jesus, they see something a bit like the revelation of him in Revelation chapter 1, which was so startling to John. You see the double-edged sword coming out of his mouth, which is the word of God. It was so startling that John fell at his feet as though dead. Jesus seemed to have a big impact on these demons. So I thought, how can I help people? And about that time, I came across this most wonderful book, Christians Set Yourself Free, by Graham Poll. This is the story of Graham. He was in New Zealand, he was a Christian worker, but he had such huge problems, he was convinced he had a demon, and he couldn't find a single person in New Zealand prepared to agree with him. So he had to work out how to get rid of the thing himself. It took him 18 months of really sweating away, but eventually he knew he was free. We'll be looking at some of his insights later on. And that was wonderful, because then I could practice on myself, get rid of my own demons, rather than messing up somebody else's life by not doing it very well. Anyway, if you still doubt there are demons today, why not watch Clive's video, Getting Free While Suffering, and then continue with this series.